welcome to you. Jonathan, I brought my friend Kelly McGrory with me.
How are you?
You guys have met?
Yes.
I'm so excited.
That's
excited. Yeah. So, we're just outside of Richmond.
Yes, just a smidge outside of the city. We're in Henrico County.
So this is a 1-room.
1,000 square feet, and we have a whole lot packed in here. But yeah, we have 8 people, so we have a master upholsterer.
Mm-hmm.
We have my stitcher who's been with me for 5 years. Trained her from scratch. I have apprentices that are really junior upholsterers at this point. But we have true apprentices, and then we have a front desk guy. And then like, today's over.
And there goes the air compressor. It's a upholstery wardrobe.
Yeah.
Yes. Excellent. All right, so we would love a deep dive.
Okay.
Where would you like to start?
This is our front desk area. This is sort of the nerve center of everything that goes on. And so we have, the phones here, the computers here. This is our little pegboard wall of organization. When the fabric actually comes in, John here, we will roll it, check it for qualities, tag it with their side mark and everything, and then it goes into the bin in alphabetical order.
I see a name tag here. It says Diva. You gotta explain that.
So what happens here is we have all of our projects on a work order that we designed. And after doing this type of work for a long time, you have to have a work order because you can't keep everything here it is. And so this is sort of our weird system. So over here are things that are coming. Some of it's even in 2026 that we're booking. And then we have to be ordered. We have it's on order. And then we skip down here so that when the fabric comes in and the furniture comes in or goes on to be done, and then all of my employees, my whole staff, they all have a hooker. And so, no, I support hookers. So everybody has a hooker.
Okay.
And then when I charge them with a project, we get the work order out, we discuss it, all the details and whatnot, so they understand what the client wishes. And then the work order goes to them for also payroll purposes, and then I keep track of who has what from that point. And then when they finish, they bring us the work order for payroll, and then we'll do the billing to the client, and then it goes up here on the to be picked up hooker. And I have to be on brand. People, be on brand. You got to keep the grain going.
Oh, I see your green.
The grain shade.
Chair. Yes. Your green binders.
Over here.
Your green stool. That's your work that disco. So disco. I love it. You love it. Okay, cool.
So there's the front desk. Let's head on work towards the back.
Okay.
Lynn, how long have you been upholstering, man?
47 years.
Good Lord. I'm not even 47 years old yet. Okay, so next up we have Mimi here, who is our slip-cover diva. But at this point, she's doing a upholstery on a sofa. And this is a vintage sofa. And when it came here, it needed a whole lot of love.
Did you have to rescreen this? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had to. I mean, it came down completely. We had to take all the springs out and take the frame apart and put it together. It had nails in it, so we can put screws in it and glued it. Much sturdier now. And yeah, all the springs become. Yeah.
Do you find it to be?
Yeah, it's really hard on my hands, but I do like it because it's so repetitive. But yeah, it definitely takes a lot of work, and then you cover it all up. So.
Right. I love your stitched-in label here.
Thank you.
Touch.
This came from the Dutch label company. Actually, the design is stitched into it. It's not just a stamped-on thing. This is an Eastlake chair that Mimi brought when she first started working here. And she was going to find the perfect fabric and redo this in her time so she could learn some more skills. Because it has webbed under the bottom, it has coil springs. So our friend JJ collaborated on this, and we did all the drawing on here by hand. And special stuff here on the back. Look at that. Mimi and I over here are going to be doing the Slipcover Summit coming up in a couple weeks with Workroom Tech, Susan Woodcock, and all those fine people that I try on. So this is the chair that we're going to be taking. It's beautiful. And it's cute. I want 10 of them. That we're going to be taking down there, and this is going to be our little dress form, half scale, that we're going to be using to demo and show people the way. So this half will be fabric A and that half will be fabric B. And then it's going to have different skirt details depending on the fabric.
It sounds great.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is our little sewing department where Natalie works. And she's off today. So I'll just kind of give you the lay of the land. So here's our cutting table. We have our bank of sewing machines. And we have, this is our favorite walking foot machine, a Consto 206 RB5. And we have 3 of them in this room. We have this one, and whatever by baby. We have a Conso straight stitch machine for lightweight things. And then we have a Juki serger way over there in the corner. And that's pretty much all you need for what we did anyway. I built all these little table extensions when we first opened so we could, run cushions and things off onto them so they're not falling off on the floor. And then we have all of our supplies, sewing supplies over here. These came from Harbor Freight, and they come in a bunch of colors. And if they had green ones back when we first opened, they'd be green, but they're red and they're going to stay red. But this is where we keep all of our supplies, and every one of our technicians has their own cart so that they can keep all their stuff on it, because you need to have everything right there handy and not go traipsing across the room to use it to find a tool or whatever. And they also have a lock here if you ever need a lock. But these are fabulous, and they roll too if you need to roll it around. And then you can hang off these little containers off the side of them for pins and whatnot, and we just make the use of everything we can. Ready? Here we go. Let's put this cushion in, people. Okay, so there's our cushion, and we're all lined up here. Gonna pattern them line straight up, and we just have a little throw pillow to go, and then it's gonna be ready to go home to a really sweet client. Okay, so back here we're gonna show you the fun place. Oh, we take our breaks. So this is our little break room and our little catch-all area. So we have just normal break room stuff. This is my education rack. It's a baker's rack that I got off Marketplace, and we made little shelves and we covered them in some scrap cotton duck. And so when I'm doing a class, I can just pull things right off here and go right over and show people whatever. And it's kind of a mess, but I know where everything is.
You travel with it?
No, I don't travel with it. If I go teach something far, I pack for just that point. But we have started teaching classes here. So sometimes it's a Saturday class for a few hours, and we'll do a pillow, a cushion cover, a lampshade we did once. We have started doing 3-day seminars about reupholstery. So more to come about that for next year, because next year is going to be the year of education like it's never been.
That's fabulous. So are these people from the community or people from the trade or both?
It's mostly people from the community. So it's mostly DIY people at this point, but it's starting to catch on with people that would like to do this more for a trade, like a side hustle to their day job or something.
Sure.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's a great resource.
Let me show you this fun little pillow. So a friend of mine came one day a couple years ago. He's like, "Hey, do you want 2 chairs?" I said, "Sure." He says, "They're throwing chairs out of the hotel down the road." I'm like, "What do you mean chairs?" And he showed me a picture of a hill of furniture. All the furniture in the hotel was out on the back lot. I said, "Go get me 2 of those chairs." So he brought them in here, and I held on to them until we was slow in January. And then we reupholstered them with this combination of fabric. So that's a quick story about the fabric and crazy chairs and a crazy pillow. Okay, so this is my famous diagram about how I cut welt and why. So this is a piece of fabric, and if you imagine that it's rolled out, and this is the tube with more fabric on it up here, and this just simply shows the selvages, the straight grain, the cross grain of the fabric, true bias, which is 45 degrees. Any slant that's not straight or cross is also a bias, but it's not a true bias. And so I believe that most welt can be cut on what I call the upholstery slant, which is just a little bit of a slant out about 12 to 14 inches from the bottom edge of your fabric, and that will usually solve all your problems.
I'm not speaking this upholstery slant just to conserve and see what I can get away with.
Huh?
But what would be the reason that you might use a true bias if it's not necessary?
Well, a true bias is going to give you the most stretch on a piece of fabric, on a piece of woven fabric, let's say. And so there could be a situation where you have a check, a small check, maybe a stripe, and you really want to get a lot of that into the welt to look visually correct. It may also be a situation that we had a couple years ago where the fabric was solid linen, and there were little hunks of flowers about this big embroidered onto it, and sort of a tan color. It was very pretty. We were doing a headboard with it. Well, if we had gone on an upholstery slant, the welt around the headboard would have looked like cockroaches running around the headboard. So we had to go between the embroideries to get just the ground, which was linen, to use that for the welt only. And it completely finished the whole thing so nicely. And you have to use whatever slant for the purpose that it needs to be and for the proper visual is the main thing to me. And this way, this doesn't waste as much fabric. And so this is my preferred, but nothing's ever the be all end all. You can never say always, 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 because there's always going to be a reason why you can't. So
Always?
And
Always?
oh, there are always going to be a reason why you can't. Can never say always. So we're going to come up here. We're going to show you what John's working on. He's working with our master upholsterer, Glenn, who is about to install decorative nail head trim around the backs of these vinyl chairs. And because the nails on the nail head is 3/4 of an inch long, and we need the nail to be 1/2 inch long, John's over here being nice and helping Clint to cut the end of the nail off so that when they go in, they don't poke through to the front of the chair, which would be a really bad thing. So this is just another example of how we work together here in the shop, and we learn things together.
The timing of that phone ring was perfect.
Look at champion.
This is Britt, and Britt works part-time at the front desk doing fabulous things. He does the websites, he does the client outreach, he does payroll, he does fabulous things admin-wise. But 3 days a week, he's over on this side of the room being a fabulous apprentice. So he has very successfully mastered slip seats. He probably never wants to do another one, but he's so good at them. So now we are moving along with the skill set. And so he is working on a set of dining room chairs. He spent all day yesterday and part of the day today tearing them down to the frame, which you always do. And so now he's in the process of starting to build things back. And so because we don't have x-ray vision and we did not know that these were frames, when the client sent the picture over, so we had to take the old webbing off, put the new webbing on. He's going to cut new foam for everybody. And he just started up doing the underlay here for the inside back of the chair. And he's going to have a lot of fun with this fabric because it's a horizontal pattern, and it has to be pattern matched between 4 side chairs with no arms and 2 end chairs with arms. So he's got his work cut out for him. But I believe that he can do it.
So I'm curious when this was a surprise to you, but then you can't see what's under the hood.
When I do an estimate, unless it's something that's really static, there's always a range of price for them. Plus, we have a terms of service situation that's about this long. It goes at the bottom of every estimate that we send out. It covers a whole myriad of things.
And because I'm on the front desk as well, one of the really important things is setting the expectations with the potential clients. So, for instance, when we had Bubbleton bring in a very beloved antique bench sitting at the foot of the bed, we went into it saying, this is an antique. We are going to open it up and see what happens once the fabric is off. And so as soon as we started taking it apart, it turns out that the only thing holding it together was the fabric.
But she decided not to do it, so
yeah.
So how great that you have the opportunity to learn from a great teacher and have the camaraderie of other people doing the work, and you get to really develop the skills. So how did you land here?
Being in a shop setting is exactly what I was looking for, especially a small shop that has an experienced upholsterer such as Glenn, and then good leadership like Jonathan, and then a lot of peers to work with like maybe Jimmy and the rest. And the reason I ended up here was because I was working my career in project management and broadcast production at marketing agencies. I woke up one morning and decided I didn't want to do that for another 30, 35 years. So I talked to my husband, and he basically said, you can do whatever you want as long as it makes money. So I started to do some soul searching, and I actually had a chair project of my own, which is sitting right there and is partially done. And I was talking to Jonathan about getting an estimate done for my chair, and then he said, why don't you come into the shop and just see what it's like here? And so I came into the shop, and after a couple of hours, I looked around and I just said, now there's something about this that really speaks to me. And so I decided to just pivot, and here I am a little over a year later.
This culture of family, learning, feeling like it's home rather than a preparation. I think it makes me think about what you said about sharing information, and instead of sort of coveting and holding on to industry secrets.
Honestly, I just had a text from who's now a really great friend down in Macon, Georgia. And she came up here earlier this year for 3 days because she's just starting out. She's by herself. She's in an area where there's really no one to help. And so she came up for 3 days, and I had her make a list of all the things she wanted to cover, and we covered every bit of it plus. Because I have all this information in my head, and I don't want to take it to the dirt house. If it could help anybody.
He's giving me so many chuckles.
We must have fun. There's tons of people that can help, like every day and every week. I'm not just saying it just because I'm on Jeanelle's show right now. There's so many good things happening because I try to live right, and I try to help people and do the right thing.
Cultivate that culture.
Yes, yeah. And my people love working. And John, that was just talking on the camera, was not told to say that. Oh, yes.
Your current. I think we have a photograph of you on a refrigerator at our shop with you in this jacket, and Sean's in the works with me from CWC 2024.
Never know.
So, if we do anything to wrap up this whole tour, I think
that could be it.
Yeah. Jonathan, it's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
To see behind the scenes.
Thank you.
And in your shop, thank you for welcoming us. And it was such a treat, Kelly, to travel down with you.
Oh, fun.
So fun. Yes.
That was fun.
That's a wrap.